Welcome to another episode of Cooking with Brad, brought to you by Boston College Dining Services. Today we're going to be butchering a chicken. This is Gallus domesticus, or as I like to call it, dinner. Now before we get excited about butchering this chicken, I want to let you know there was no foul play in the death of this chicken. So let's get started. To butcher a chicken, you want to make sure you have your cutting board and two places where all the parts can land. Grab a boning knife, which is a knife designed to get around joints and bones, and we can get started. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to cut between the leg and the breast. There's a nice skin and fatty area where the knife will just go right through, and just do that on both sides. Now before you put down the knife, you want to pick up the wing and make a cut across the first part of the wing, or where the drumhead is on wings when you go out for buffalo wings. That's the best part, by the way. We're going to be cutting Statler breast chickens, which has the wing bone attached, and that's the reason why we're going to leave those in. So at the neck here, you're going to put an incision where we're going to pick out the wishbone. If you don't pick out the wishbone, you can cut it and get it into the breast meat, which can cause a choking hazard. We're going to snap the legs back, then we're going to pick off these wings and really just kind of pulling them off, so that cut that we've made. And then what you're going to do is you're going to put your hand in the incision and from the top, pull out the wishbone. And there it is. So we get the wishbone out. Our chicken is stabilized by its legs. We're going to cut down what's called the keel bone, and that's a bone that runs across the type. You can actually feel it with your hand. Once we cut down there, take the tip of the knife and run down the ribs for the back slice. After the back slice is done, we're going to go down the front side right to the arm joint, or where the wing joint is. You have to make a cut around the joint here, like that, and it should just come right off. Now, on the back side, flip your bird over, and there's the oyster. It's called the chicken oyster. There's some meat in there, so you want to make sure you get that piece out. So use your knife and just kind of come around the circle, like I've done here. Now, by popping the legs, the bone will just cut right through because it's a joint there, so you can just run the knife right through. Now with the legs, to separate the leg from the thigh, always trim your fat if you don't want it, is there's a little line. See that little white line right there that I'm pointing to with my knife? You can cut right through it. No pressure, it just slices right through. That's where another joint is. So if we do it on the other one, you'll see that white fat, and there's the line right through. Now with our breasts, what we want to do is we want to trim up the skin. And there's extra skin on the end here, so just come around and trim that, flatten out the skin across the breast, and take off any pieces that we don't want, like that. And that little bit right down there, we'll just trim that whole thing up to get a nice Statler chicken breast. If you don't want to do the Statler chicken breast, you don't have to cut the wings like I showed you, but you have to cut them off afterwards. Here's a little fun where I'm going to butcher a chicken as fast as I can. So as I was saying earlier, what we ended up getting from all of this chicken was 2 Statler chicken breasts, 2 thighs, 2 legs, and 2 wings. Now, as I stated before, the best part of a wing, and you can challenge me on it, you will lose, is the drumette part, not the flapper. The flapper is the double wing piece. Oh, and a little time lost on this as I got stuck pulling that wing off. But anyways, you don't really get enough wings when you butcher your own chicken, so it's definitely not worth saving in my mind. I'd rather have the Statler chicken to make it look better presentation-wise. You might be asking, why should I go through all of this just for chicken when I can buy it already cut? A whole chicken is usually cheaper, and depending on how many people you have in your family, if you have to buy 2 or 3 of these, you end up getting a fair amount of chicken out of it. You get all those breasts, legs, and thighs. You also get the bodies to make stock, which is huge if you're making rice, because chicken stock makes rice taste so much better, and it's fun. And the more you do it, the better you get at it, so it's just a skill to have. All right, 1 minute, 6 seconds, 0.16. And this is the chicken broken down after all the parts are done. Hopefully you enjoy it, and stay egg-cellent.